Hello class 11th. Welcome to the online tutorial sessions for business studies. I am Avnash Lambert, your business teacher, and today I am going to teach you business. Now, we were continuing the chapter forms of business organization, and today we are going to start the cooperative societies or cooperative organizations. Now, first of all, write it down somewhere. The best example for cooperative societies is Amul. Yes, that company, that butter company. Fine, Amul. Now, cooperative society is a voluntary association. Voluntary means by our own will. We can join that association by our will. If we want to join them, we can join them. Fine, it's up to our will. That's why it's voluntary. Cooperative society is a voluntary association of persons who joins together with the motive of welfare of the members. So it's a voluntary association, means we can join it if we want to join them. It's our will, then we can join them, and we join together with that association with the motive of welfare of the members. Those who are already the members of this association, this voluntary association, we join them just to give the welfare to the members, the motive of welfare of the members of the voluntary association. Now friends, it's a bit different from regular business enterprises. Like in the other enterprises, the main motive was to earn profit, but here the main motive is mutual help. The main motive of cooperative society is mutual help. To join together, motive of welfare of the members. Fine. Each for all and all for each. They all help each other. With the motive is mutual help. Fine. It aims to protect and promote the economic and social interest of the members. Now, I told you the example of Amul. What they do? There are so many milkmen members of Amul. What they do? They provide them the pure milk, and instead and in return for that milk they pay them the money. Fine. So the Amul is providing and protecting the social and economic interest. Whenever those milkmen need some money, the Amul, the cooperative society, is always ready to help them. Now, this cooperative society needs registration, and it's must. Registration is must. The registration of cooperative society is under the Act of Cooperative Society Act 1912. Mark it, registration under Cooperative Society Act 1912. And minimum of 10 members are required. If there are 9 members, you cannot form a cooperative society. You need at least 10 members for starting the cooperative society. Now, how capital is raised? Capital is raised by members. Capital is raised by the members by the issue of share. They issue the shares to them, and for that share they give them some money, and that's how these cooperative society raise their capital. Cooperatives can raise loans from the bank. That's the plus point for the cooperative societies, because these cooperative societies are registered under the government. They are under the Act. So governments help them, government back them up, and therefore it's easier for the cooperative societies to get loan from the bank. Fine. Now let's come to the features of cooperative societies. The first feature is voluntary association. I told you anyone can join that association. Now any person which is of 18 plus, he must not be a minor. He should be a person who is having 18 plus age. can join it if he or she has a common interest. I told you in the example of Amul, all the milkmen of that area, of that village, they are the members because they have a common interest, milk. Therefore, if they are 18 plus and they are milkmen, they can join because they have a common interest of milk. And also, they can leave the society whenever they want. Whenever they decide that they need to leave, they can leave that, but they have to give a notice. With the given notice, they can leave whenever they want. Now, the second feature, students, is legal status. What is the legal status of cooperative societies? That registration is must. They must do the registration, and registration is done under the Cooperative Society Act 1912. After the registration, after they get the registration, it becomes, that cooperative society becomes a separate legal entity. The members are different persons and the cooperative society is a different person. And it becomes a separate legal entity independent of its member. The members are independent. They are different persons and the society is different person. So it becomes that cooperative society, that Amul, is a separate legal entity. Now, third one, the service motive. What is the motive? The main motive is to serve. Fine. The main motive was to mutually help each other. What Amul does? Amul provides the platform where the milkman can sell their product, can sell their milk at a reasonable price. So, the main motive, the primary motive, the main motive is to provide service to its members. Fine. And the secondary motive, the other motive, the not so primary motive, the secondary motive is the profit making. After providing services to its member, after providing mutual help to its members, the secondary motive is the profit making. Now, students, the fourth feature of cooperative society is the limited liability. The limited liability. Now, its members don't have the unlimited liability, but the liability of members is limited to the extent of the amount contributed by them as capital. It depends on the amount of capital which is being contributed by its members. Suppose there are 10 members. Fine. Each one has contributed 1 lakh rupees or 10,000 rupees. Then I am liable for only 10,000 rupees. Understood? The share will be according to my extent of capital which is being contributed by me in that cooperative society. Fine. Whatever amount I am contributing as capital, that will be the extent of my liability. According to that, my liability extends. The last one is equal voting right. The fifth and the last feature of cooperative society is equal voting right. Now, this cooperative society has a democratic principle. It has a democratic principle, means one man, one vote. Each and every member of this cooperative society has a right to vote in the decision making. So that makes it a democratic principle. Irrespective of the capital contribution by them, the person who has contributed 10 lakhs and the person who has contributed 100 rupees both have the right to vote. Rich members cannot dictate. Rich members cannot dictate. It's not like I have contributed 10 lakh rupees, you have contributed 1000 rupees, sit down. No, they cannot dictate anyone. Each and every person is equal member and every person has the right to vote. That's make it a democratic principle, and that's the equal voting right. That happens in the cooperative societies. Now students, I hope you have understood the cooperative societies, the features and the different aspects of the cooperative societies. In the next video, we are going to learn further about the cooperative societies. So students, stay home, Stay safe and see you soon.